Greg, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yep.
Pretty good. Okay. Tell me a little bit what's going on in your life. What does what kind of things are happening, and where you're trying to go with your life.
Well, recovery is, I'm really starting to see things, okay? Not as I would necessarily want them to be, but as they are on a positive tip, you know.
Okay. Okay.
I've quit drinking and using other substances. I'm involved in a 12-step program. I'm getting therapy and counseling through the VA. And things are looking up.
Right.
As
right.
far as that goes for me in my life.
All right. So tell me about looking up, and tell me about be a little bit more into detail about the things that are going on in your life.
Well, Tim, I can remember a time where I had very little respect for myself, let alone anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Today, through my recovery, I'm gaining some self-respect, and that allows me to respect not only myself but others, okay, for who they are, okay?
Right.
Not so much what can I get from them, okay, but just appreciating the things that are good in my life, okay, in reference to where I was, so my health is fairly decent, and I'm getting physical and mental, emotional, spiritual help.
Right.
I've got a residence, okay. I've got a vehicle. I've got an income, okay.
Right.
Most importantly, I believe for me is I have found a higher power.
Mm-hmm.
God is whom I choose to call him. And that's really a plus for me.
Right. So, tell me more about the spiritual side. Tell me about how that's affected you in finding the spiritual side of your life. How's that benefited you in your life?
Well, when I was out in the streets and on the other side of life, again, I had no respect for myself or others. I didn't take care of myself physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I was blocked off of my own doing, okay, from the sunlight of God.
Right.
Today, I've cleansed this temple, okay. I believe, the Holy Spirit rests within. And so, number one, I don't put poisons in me to block me off, okay? I take care of myself. I try to treat others as I would like to be treated. And one thing that's really been sticking with me is, number one, live and let live, okay? But also respect, So,
So your relationships with other people. Tell me about that. Tell me about the difference in the life of an addict and the life of a person in recovery, and the types of relationships you have with other people now.
Okay. Well, as far as relationships, when I was using and abusing chemicals, those weren't relationships. Those were basically just an acquaintance, and it was all about what they could do for me, okay?
Yeah.
And if they couldn't do for me, I've shunned them. I got away and tried to find somebody I could use, misuse, and abuse as far as, resources to get alcohol and other drugs. Today, I respect people for who they are and what they are, okay? I don't hang around with people that misuse, and abuse alcohol and other substances. Not that I'm better than them. It's just that I can't go around that. It's people, places, and things. Okay,
right.
And you're aware of it.
Right.
You know, so today I have true relationships. People who care about me and want me to succeed. Okay, people that help me. You know, not like those people of my past. It just, they wanted what I had, and if I didn't have it, I was kicked to the curb.
Right. So tell me, to talk about the potential, the things that you've gained from recovery. How will that help you moving forward and realizing things in the future? Talk to me about that a little bit. Tell me what is your plan to move forward in the future?
Right. Well, like right now, I believe that my future is unlimited as far as what I can do and where I can go. Yes, I do have physical limitations,
Right.
but you know, when I was out in the world, I felt that was it. There was nothing else for me. Today, I do feel my future is unlimited. I believe that, you know, my goal today is, of course, to stay clean and sober and help others. Admit to myself if I've offended somebody or, you know, done something that I don't feel is right. As far as a week from now, my goal is to continue my sobriety, my clean time. A month from now, you know, I've got other things that I want to do, you know, getting goals accomplished, like fixing my car, you know, making sure my residence is clean and presentable, furthering my education. You know, 5 years from now, you know, I trust and believe that as long as I do what I'm doing today and continue to grow in recovery, 5 years from now, I'll be okay.
Well, so I'm hearing that you're taking responsibility for your
Yes,
life, and,
yes.
and that by taking responsibility, you're able to grow spiritually and mentally and physically, and get to places that, as an addict, that were just impossible. Is that what I'm hearing
Yes,
from you?
yes, that's the truth.
Right.
Yes.
So, what? Tell me more about your recovery process, and tell me more about what you're doing to stay on the right track. I heard you say you were going to meetings and you were getting some help from the VA.
Yes.
And what else? Anything else that you're doing that you can tell me about?
Well, as you know, I'm on Suboxone therapy. Okay, I initially started out on, you know, being a recovering heroin addict, opioid addict, you know. The first thing that I found pretty successful was methadone therapy, along with 12-step community counseling and that type of stuff. I really didn't want to stay on methadone due to its long-term possible problems. So with a therapist, with a doctor, I was able to go from methadone to Suboxone. You know, I've got my life as far as legal issues. It's taken care of. Financially, I'm okay. You know, so in due time, I believe my next step will be to, instead of having to take a pill every day, graduate to the shot that can be given once a month. Vivitrol. And then from there, you know, and I've discussed this with my therapist, with my psychiatrist, with my doctor. I am potentially going to try a taper down on Vivitrol, and my long-term goal is to be substance-free as far as medicines needed to help me with my recovery.
Right. Let me ask you this: so you take a pill every day?
Yes, sir.
And if they switch you to Vivitrol, tell me about how you feel about not having to take a pill every day, or will that having been taking a pill every day, do you think that might cause a problem? Do you understand where I'm coming from?
I do, because of the so-called habit aspect of it.
The habit of taking a
pill,
but the security.
Uh-huh.
I mean, being an addict, addicts get very ritual, and addicts, they get into a routine. And so basically what I'm asking you is, if this routine of taking a pill every day, once that's gone and you don't have to take it every day anymore, do you think that that might cause you any problems? Have you given that any thought?
Yes. I've even discussed it with my psychiatrist, my therapist. I take the pill every day because I have to continue in this new life.
Right.
I actually am looking forward to a once-a-month shot.
Okay.
I've investigated the medication, the Vivitrol. It does the same thing that the Suboxone does, okay? So I would much rather try the shot. I believe it's going to work better for me and the new life I'm trying to live.
The Vivitrol is just an analgesic, though, right?
Correct.
So so it's not going to the Vivitrol is not going to the cravings in the brain and things like that. It's not going to do the same thing as the Suboxone. You understand that, right?
Yes.
Right.
And I believe that's where I consider myself having a toolbox.
Gotcha.
And that's where I will have to religiously dig deeper into that toolbox to use the tools that I've been given to stay on this path.
Right.
Yes.
Well, and again, so I'm hearing great things. I'm hearing that I think that you've made a decision not to return to your past. And
I have.
I think you've got a plan, and you're implementing that plan. And most successful people in recovery, they have a plan, they stick to their plan, and that's why they're successful.
Right. Yeah.
They're successful. They're not winging it. They're not just doing
fly by night.
Fly by night.
Yes.
Exactly. They're actually working a plan, and it sounds like that's exactly what you're doing. So.
Well, one thing that I remember, and my mom shared this with me, others in recovery shared with me, if I fail to plan, then in essence I'm planning to fail.
Right.
And that sticks, okay? It's like implanted.
Right.
And today I can see it. I can see it.
Right.
So
I often tell people that I work with that if you work as hard
yes,
at staying clean as you did at using, you absolutely will be successful. Can't be avoided.
And I thank you for telling me that. I've heard it, and most importantly, I believe it.
Right. Well, you think about how hard as an addict it was every day for you to seek, get, to seek, get, to seek, get, to seek, get. It's an immense amount of work, and if you put that kind of effort in living a good life and doing the right thing, you won't have any problems.
Yeah. When you said that, about the effort and all the work that goes in as an active addict, that's the hardest work I've ever done.
Sure.
Just to keep from being sick.
Yes.
Just to feel somewhat normal.
Right.
So, today, Yes, I believe I'm working hard, but I don't think I've ever worked as hard as I did just trying to be not sick.
Right, right. Well, Greg, it was good talking to you today. I look forward to talking to you again, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.